You raised a lot of good points. But again, like if we waited for them, we would have a little bit more downtime. Like DRG, he's like AFK at the moment, and then they got to do their vetoes. So yeah, I kind of want to have a little bit of diversity. We don't typically get to cast a lot of Terran players in these weeklies, so we see Dream, we got to jump on it, right?
Exactly. Dream is one of the few Terran players who consistently sign, or one of the few Terran players who consistently signs up for ESL Asia. The others I would say would probably be Cure and Bunny, with, to be honest, Bunny along with Special being a little more semi-regular rather than, somebody who you expect to see on the bracket.
Yeah, again, huge shout out to Dream and Cure and Bunny as well. Special, like being some of the only Terrans that we see here. Unfortunately, players like Innovation, Maru, TY, like
TY,
every couple months he shows up.
Yeah. Didn't TY get stats out of ESL Asia? The one time, I don't think we were even able to cast him. We saw him on the bracket, and we thought, oh, okay, we're gonna hold off, and we'll probably catch him in the semis. And then Sats just took him out in the quarterfinals.
Look, I don't have to be the one to tell you about how dominant Protosses are here in these ESL
Exactly. Cups. And speaking of Protoss, here's going to be the player who isn't playing Protoss, spawning in here on Eternal Empire, Ile, the pink Terran player, coming down all the way from the land of Korea. He is going to be representing Brave Star Gaming, BSG. Give it up for Dream. On the Evermap.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Eternal Empire LE, we have the other South Korean player, the Protoss player, currently teamless but representing Clan into the... It is Hurricane.
Dream, why does this seem so familiar to me, Light? Where have I seen this before?
Oh boy. So Dream starting off with something a little bit cheeky with a proxy in the natural of Hurricane.
And I think the question is, Light, is he gonna float it over across the wall, throw it on a tech lab, and then get Marauders?
You know what, Yaku? Dream, I know he's a really big OCE fan, and he watches ESL Dare Cup all the time, especially since ESL Dare Cup did finish recently. So you know what, Dream, he's the kind of player to do something like this. And oh my god, the probe really scouts it. He chased the SME.
Already starting to get scouted here, but I think on a map like Eternal Empire, it's should be fine right now for Dream, just because it's still gonna take a while for these units. Even though Hurricane has the defender's advantage, it's still gonna take a while for Hurricane to get units out.
Exactly, and because the Reaper's about to come out, this bunker will finish. It will be able to protect the SCV that's building it. So far, pretty nicely done. The Zealot does come out, but again, it takes so long for a Zealot. Wait, I mean, ideally, it doesn't really ever deal with a Reaper.
Yeah. Those can be kited for days. And unfortunately, just missing the SCV there. But we'll be able to start putting the hurt on top of this bunker. Not versus Marine, though.
Yeah, the Marine is able to get in. And, I mean, this is at least... We've seen this happen before. This is at least going to delay mining time. I don't know if this is going to, like, snowball to the point where he kills the Nexus.
Yeah, I mean, that is a Dream, but there's a reason why that's a Dream and not the player.
Not Cure.
And not Cure, yeah. I was true. I was gonna go with that pun. But
this is true. This is a Dream right now, and so far he's dealing some decent damage.
Yeah, I'm liking the SCV micro. The Zealot's going in and the Zealot's going out, and the Stalker has to be very, very careful. Zealot already goes down, and the shield battery's out of energy. Oh. We may just get into a scenario where this Nexus... It shouldn't go down, though, right, Light?
It shouldn't go down. But what it is doing, again, delaying mining time, just kill the probe that poked out from the Nexus. He could potentially kill a Stalker if the Stalker gets too low on health, which it already is. So, and another probe!
And another probe does go down while this SCV is still alive. Who is microing this right now?
Oh my god, right? Like, this is insane.
Is this Dream, or are we actually in a Dream?
We're actually four probes. Stop with the rally, Hurricane. Just stop rallying your probes to their death.
But he has to build them. Okay, now with the shield battery overcharge and the 3 stalkers, this should be too much DPS for Dream to deal with.
Yeah,
but still, 4 probes light.
Exactly, 4 probes, really nicely done. Doesn't manage to salvage the bunker, loses 1 Marine, but I love this. As soon as the bunker was going down, the Reaper, it left, it went right into the main base of Hurricane for that scout. And even getting more probe kills.
Jesus. This Reaper could very well just make it out here alive, and it doesn't. But as you said, he gets a very good scout, is very well aware of the Stargate that's coming his way, and is going to start getting prepared for it. Well, I say that, but okay, there we go. Viking on the way.
Yeah, exactly. Like, oh, that was so much damage done by Dream. He killed, I think, in the end, 6 probes. If we take a look at the units lost, 8 probes, sorry, a Zealot, all that lost mining time, the free scout, like, that was beautiful.
I really do feel like that was a Terran Dream. For a TvP opening.
Yeah, you're gonna wake up, try that on ladder, and just immediately lose everything. It's just.
That's right. I'm gonna think I did well yesterday. I reached my peak, or what my previous peak was. I just gonna lose it immediately, trying to be Dream.
That's the thing, right? Like, you need so much good micro and control to be able to do what Dream just did.
Which I once again want to reiterate. He may have lost him a little bit of time. I'm not too sure about that one. It seems like his upgrades are still on the way, but yeah, maybe he doesn't quite have as many workers as he'd like to. But still, that was some very impressive micro, and it did do get quite a bit done.
Yeah. Along those lines, again, like, this opener shouldn't be doing much, like the Oracle and the Phoenix. So we should see Dream, I imagine, throw down a 3rd CC, you know, pretty soon, so he can continue to expand, unless his plan is instead to go for, like, some big 2-base timing on Everdream, on the Eternal Empire, even.
Yeah, and I think that is going to be the plan coming out right now. He is not stopping that bunker production, or not bunker production, sorry, the barracks production. Does have a 3rd base on the way, but will he actually saturate that? He probably will, because he's not a 3rd player.
Exactly, and already this Oracle is actually getting in here, getting some Marines, and he's going to be getting some SCVs.
Repairing. The SCVs repairing one another will keep a lot of them alive. Only 3 of them have went down. You lose a little bit of minerals to repair, but I think that's a lot more preferable to losing your entire mineral line.
Exactly, and with that lock-on as well, the Oracle went down only for 3 SCVs. That's not really ideal. You'd like to get a couple more. So again, really well done by Dream, able to stop that initial investment into that Stargate opening. And yeah, like, he's looking quite strong. He's already got Stim, he's already got a decent amount of upgrades. Concussive Shell and +1 is going to finish up soon, and here we go, we're going to see a drop. There
we have it. Dream being super aggressive right now. And I like what he's doing with this drop. It's not just going to be a double drop that is going to be his entire army. No, he's just trying to establish his foothold as quickly as he can and rallies the rest of his army to it. He's wasting no time walking across the map.
Yeah, I love it when Terran players, they pick up their tanks like this for their pushes, just to make sure that he hits a little bit earlier, a little bit sooner. And here he is, he's outside the 3rd base of Hurricane. He's got a tank, he's got a Cyclone, a decent amount of Marauders. Oh, is it enough to break him? I don't think this is going to be enough.
I highly doubt it right now, Light. But the force fields are actually really good. Dream just completely unable to pounce on top of his army and, you know, bruise them a little bit, but couldn't quite close it out.
Yeah, again, Dream kind of keeping his opponent honest. Again, really nice force field. So Hurricane was able to hold off, and with the shield batteries that he's throwing down at his 3rd base, I don't think that Dream can really break him with what he has now. But he is continuing to rally across the map.
Yeah, 2nd wave is starting to come across the map right now. Like, but you know what's also on the way? This Colossus. I think it's still going to look rough for Hurricane, but I think if he can just nail those force fields, he should be in a pretty good defensive position.
Yeah, definitely, and this is a really nice tank position, at least, already shelling away at some of the army of Hurricane. He's actually dropping as well.
Right on top of this, making the absolute most use that he can of that tank positioning to just be aggressive with his bio. And with that, I think this might be too much. Now he's targeting down the Colossus, way out of range of the battery overcharge. And I think Hurricane should still be able to clean this out, but at what cost, Light?
Oh, at the cost of a Colossus. Like, that was an incredibly nice pick off there by Dream. He's going to get cleaned up, but the damage has been done. Like, workers have gone down. He's trying to trade against sentries and whatever units he can, and he saves all the medevacs, killing or sniping that Colossus.
And the wave just does not stop, does it, Light? More bio moving across the map just to put the final nails in the coffin.
Yeah,
I think Hurricane's going to need a miracle here.
I mean, he does have another Colossus at it. Okay, so he still has that backbone to his army. Surprisingly, Hurricane is taking a 4th base behind this. So ambitious, like, as he's holding this aggression of Dream. We'll see, like, if Hurricane is in position, then maybe he can, but the drop comes in. Drop goes out.
Drop goes out. Can't quite explain that.
Can't explain that.
After that, the 4th base will go unscouted once again, and as you said, that's a very ambitious move coming out from Hurricane, but I think it's the right move, to be honest.
Oh, yeah.
Dream, he's very preoccupied with this sort of southwestern corner of the map. If Hurricane could just secure his base, sneak out a couple of probes, he's going to have enough of an economy to get more production, get a better defense, and ideally counterattack behind that.
Exactly. That's what separates some of the good players from some of the great players. Being able to throw down a Nexus in the midst of all this aggression, right? And, this is such a good observer positioning. It does get taken out, but it does spot the army.
Yeah, it is a really good observer positioning, but it's just funny to hear. It's good observer positioning, but it dies immediately.
Yeah, it did its job. That means the army of Hurricane is in position, but his army is looking kind of fragile. 2 Colossus on the handful of gateway units.
Oh yeah, it is extremely fragile. It takes a while for the rest of these Stalkers to come into position. They're actually blinking away right now, exposing the Colossus even further. A couple of Zealots will warp in, but they actually get taken out, taken out as they warp in. This 4th base is forfeit.
Exactly, and that's why we're calling it ambitious. Like, he didn't really have too much of an army to defend it, and if Dream applied pressure, he could definitely take it out, and that's exactly what he did, able to get a kill on that Nexus, but he has to be so careful here. There's a Disruptor.
Here's a Disruptor, and we have known them to be the great equalizers, but Dream already pre-split coming out. And I just love how Dream was not taking his chances. He did decide to go check for, just in case there was a 4th base coming out, and now going for a multi-prong. Good blink here, coming out from Hurricane.
Oh god, that was so nicely done. He was able to catch a glimpse of that drop, immediately blinks on top of it, and I thought it was going to be out of range, too far in the dead space, but no, Hurricane shuts that down, forcing Hurricane, forcing Dream.
Beautiful Purification Nova going down. Dream miscalculating that, thinking he could snipe the Disruptor before it finished. And because of that, a lot of the wind got knocked out of his sails.
Oh god, yeah, but now at the same time we do have a drop heading into the main base of Hurricane. This time he did not spot it, and it will actually be dropped, like, it'll be going down. It's in there.
Yeah. Well, going down isn't like dropping, not going down is sniped out of the sky.
The rays, they're going up, they're going places. And with that, he's going to be able to get a couple of probe kills, pull away the attention. But at the same time, we do see a couple of SCVs going down. I believe there it is to the DTs in the 3rd base.
Yeah, thankfully Dream, he did have a couple of reinforcements there to be able to take that out. Scam will just about finish that. Hurricane trying to set up for a bit of harassment here, but again, he's been on such a low economy for so long, and he can only afford 3 Zealots there. Purification Nova's not getting a good connection this time. And this is a lot of pressure, but Dream actually splitting up his army a little inefficiently, I would say.
Yeah,
but he's actually working on the concave.
Yeah, he was able to force away the army that was trying to sandwich him. He kept all his Liberators and tanks alive, and now he's continuing to siege here.
And now he's the one who can sandwich, but does not quite do that. He knows that this siege line does need a lot of support behind it. Because Liberators and tanks on your own, very fragile.
And I don't know if you noticed, but the majority of the Disruptors were taken out. Only 1 left, and it doesn't have a cooldown reset on his Purification, but he's getting on top of the Colossus.
Another fantastic defense by Dream, and there we go. Hurricane just could not keep up. GG is called. And I gotta tell you, lad, it's rare that we see such a small amount of units do so much in an opening like that. That ended up snowballing to a victory.
Yeah. Oh my god. GG, the aggression of Dream just didn't stop. And before we get into the next game, Yaku, could you lower the in-game music a little bit?
Right.
So 10 or 15% or so.
Yep.
Sweet. Thank
that
you.
should be good. Sick.
Yeah. And thank you in the chat for pointing that out. If, there are some other audio issues, in this next game, let us know. We'll adjust.
Yeah.
We'll make sure that we provide the best stream possible. Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, wow, GG, like Dream. I look at this and I'm like, I know that this is how you want to play. Like,
Exactly.
you see this and you're like, I want to be like Dream.
Exactly. It's my dream to play like Dream.
Oh god, like the way like he just dominates, and he was just like dictating the pace of that entire game. I'm sure Hurricane, he was going for some DT harass, which was nice, but like there were missile turrets, like there were reinforcements at home. Like Dream, he just dealt with it.
Just dealt with it. And speaking of just dealing with it, this is going to be that player who did just deal with all of that, and also dealt his opponent a tough loss there. In the bottom left-hand corner of the map, spawning all the way in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, the pink Terran player. Coming out all the way from the land of South Korea. He is going to be representing Brave Star Gaming, BSG. We have Dream.
And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Everdream LE, we have the South Korean Protoss player. He's currently teamless, representing Into the Clan. It is Hurricane.
I'm gonna be real honest with you, Light. I didn't say the name of the map because I was trying to come up with a synonym that I could use.
Right, Dream on Everdream. Would have been great.
Would really have, but so
It's okay,
good.
it's okay. You have time. Like so far, Dream, he's up 1-0. Like this may not be the last time we cast Dream on Everdream. You got some time to come up with something.
But we'll have to gym. Oh, this is pretty old school coming up from Dream. Speaking of gym, an engineer block.
Depending on the map, there are different ways to like do this, right? There's the engineering block, there's like the bunker block as well. The variant that we saw last game, right? Like the bunker to delay mining time. There's a lot of different things available to you as a Terran player to be a little bit annoying and delay the economy of the Protoss. So yeah, pretty interesting.
Very much so, but it is a bit of a balancing act there. Because you want to hit that perfect balance of, being able to annoy the Protoss player without forcing them to all-in you before you have an army.
Exactly. It's like this balancing act where it's like, you want to delay their economy, you don't want to stop it, because then you got like an all-in coming, and that's not what you want.
Exactly.
Yes, okay.
All right, that's good to cancel.
Of course he does. We're talking about Dream here. He's on the Korean server, the lowest latency that he could be on, and in saying that, you have to be careful, with this Reaper. A little bit too close to the Zealot.
Exactly. Reapers, there's a reason why they're favored against Zealots, and that's kiting. If you don't kite, I don't think they're favored anymore.
This is accurate. This is very accurate, and I love this, even dancing with the Adept a little bit.
Yeah, being a little bit ambitious there.
Yeah, but he gets away with it. He didn't even get shot by the Adept, so he was just able to delay that a little bit, be annoying. Meanwhile, the bunker is about to finish up as well. Should be nicely timed just as the Adept gets there. So his units should be able to sneak in without losing too much.
Yeah, even trying to send a unit or two just to delay these units that are coming out. Dream, you gotta be careful, but he knows that his units can only afford to take 3 hits from the Adept. And he's just eking out as much as he can. Hellion now going to be helping this Reaper for some scouting, and I'm interested to see the opening of Hurricane. I don't often see a Hellion Reaper scout go into a mine drop, it seems.
Yeah, this is really interesting. And again, like, honestly, it was so sexy to see Dream's micro with his 2 Marines and the Reaper. Like, I'm not a Terran player, but I can appreciate that. Like, the way he was able to keep everything alive and sneak into the bunker, like, that was beautiful. And meanwhile, Hurricane, he's doing pretty standard Protoss things. Like, in a TvP, the most standard thing is going for a Blink opener. Like, it's a pretty well-rounded, solid opening, and, ooh, nicely done with that force field, able to deny that scout.
Yeah, just completely negating the advantage of having that Hellion to scout with. And Dream, he's in the dark.
So you're gonna try and go for some kind of...
This is Nightmare.
There you go. Oh, we need Dream versus Nightmare.
What about Reality?
Oh, I mean, he's retired, but
Yeah.
I agree. That the pun potential, it's there. Speaking of potential, here we go. The Widowmine drop.
Yeah. Dream going for the more conservative double mine drop as opposed to the more ambitious triple mine drop. Doesn't have an armory though, so I'm still disappointed.
Yeah, and he actually commits to this. The first Widowmine does borrow the second one into the main base. Where's the pull? Okay.
Ooh, right at the last minute there. Actually picks it up. Gonna be continuing to be annoying here.
Has to be careful. There was actually some Widowmine friendly fire that hit the medevac, which made it go even lower. So,
oh yeah.
Oof. So
if that medevac really took even a couple more stalker hits earlier, would have been just straight up taken out.
Honestly, it may be stuck there till the rest of the game. Like we'll see if there's like an all army hockey move or something. But yeah, that medevac, it's no long for this world.
That's what you think.
We'll see if it's able to slip out later. Keep an eye on it.
Dream, he's just gonna incite a riot on some of the Protoss bases. Sneak out in the distraction.
Yeah, that's a really good analogy. He can like drop in other places, try and pull the stalkers away, so then he can saving Private Ryan and get those Widowmines out of there. We'll see. As so far, pretty chill at the moment. Dream, he's just macroing up, getting his production up and running. He already has his third CC as well, working on that triple CC production, SCV production.
Yeah, I think triple orbital production does work as well here. It looks like Dream going once again for a 1-1 timing attack, or maybe just a +1 timing attack on 3 bases here. But this time Hurricane, he took a lot less damage earlier, didn't he? He's already got his Immortal out, as well as his Warp Prism on the way, compared to that previous game where they weren't available by the time Hurricane hit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and again, like we'll see what kind of AoE Hurricane decides to go for first. Whether I think the more standard way is to start with Colossus, then eventually get Disruptor. You have that Colossus as like your like fixed AoE, but yeah,
a lot more zoning potential with the Colossus there, particularly if you're playing against a bio-heavy Terran player, which incidentally he is.
Yeah, and Dream once again showing that he just loves that OCE scene. We saw that Raven going for some auto turret harass. I know he's a really big HUT fan, so yeah, it was really cool to see him whip that out.
The real HUT fan would be doing it in a TvC.
It would. Oh my god, we'll get there. Okay, we'll follow Dream, and maybe we'll have a TvZ eventually. If he's able to take down his opponent here, and yeah, he's not the only one applying some pressure. Here we have Hurricane with this Warp Prism, looking to warp in a couple of Zealots here.
Yeah, getting that Templar Archives behind that. So we talk about diversifying AoE light, and I honestly think that this is the more effective composition in a PPT. Not that Disruptors are bad, they can be really good, especially against a lot of siege tanks and whatnot. But Storm is, it has that added bonus of being a little annoying.
I agree. Storm, it's great. It just takes a little bit to get going, right? Because you have to wait for that energy. Meanwhile, the push is here. At the same time, the Zealots of Hurricane are hitting the natural of Dream. Just chaos all over the place. Dream, we'll see if he can keep his control. Oh, he matrixes the Colossus.
Beautiful Matrix going down there, yeah. And with these force fields and with that battery overcharge, I think Hurricane's going to be able to hold it. The cooldown does expire, but this is such a good siege setup right now for Dream.
Oh my god, yeah, and like 9 SCVs went down across the map, but Dream did eventually deal with that. Like, he's dealt with it now. He can focus all of his attention here on his aggression on that push. Those medevacs are still alive. That medevac's still alive there in the corner, waiting for the moment to dive out.
But that moment has not quite happened yet. Dream, he's just leapfrogging his tanks one by one. I think Hurricane may have just focused a little bit too much or teched up too quickly here. But maybe not, as now 2 Colossus are on the way. A couple of Zealots are all that it takes right now to jump on top of these siege tanks. But honestly, I still think Dream might have it. Okay, not with those Stalkers coming down.
Yeah, like losing those tanks was the big thing, and we did see the medevac did get taken out. Dream was trying to do a little bit of multi-prong in the middle of that, trying to send it into the natural, but the Stalkers were there on hold position. Dream, honestly, he dealt a decent amount of damage, killed some decent amount of Colossus. Like, we do see he's ahead in supply, like he's looking really solid right now, but after losing those tanks, that's kind of takes the wind out of the sail of that push.
Exactly. Tanks and TvP are best used either for sieges like that or defensively, and Dream, he just doesn't have a lot of defenses other than his bio, which is pretty good, but he doesn't want to just run them into two kinds of AoE.
Yeah, again, Dream, he was very out of position there. Hurricane was pushing into that base, and Dream, his entire army was to the top left, and he had to run his way down to help defend. Unfortunately, he just wasn't ready for that counterattack. He didn't lose too much, but again, a lot of lost mining time. And here we go. This is Wave 2.
This is Wave 2 coming out here. Does have two tanks, and he's looking to find a good position for them.
Oh, God.
Also trying to go for a bit of a drop there. Nice little blink here from Hurricane. It means that the Colossus are just going to have less to deal with.
Exactly.
But I think Dream might just have too much.
It's so important that Hurricane was able to snipe off one of the tanks there. Only one tank remaining for Dream. Again, the tanks are so important here as an anchor point. Without them, then the Protoss army can push on through.
Yeah, especially in a choke point like this. Like, you look at Dream's army and you look at it and you say, this is more than enough to take out the Protoss army. If it was in an open area, if Dream was able to get a concave on it. This is a choke point though, and that's only going to help Hurricane.
Exactly. And at the same time, Hurricane is actually sending a big, massive Zealot run-by to the natural potential third base of Dream. We'll see if that comes to fruition, as Dream is continuing to scan the main army of Hurricane, trying to find opportunity, but ooh, interesting. Dream, he sees the army, he backs off.
Yeah, really deciding that I can't get too much done here. If I'm not able to push in, then I'm focusing way too much on this one specific area. So I'm just gonna regroup my army, get round 3 ready, and see you again.
Exactly, and as he's getting round 3 ready, Hurricane once again is going for, or he's at least posturing around the map. I love this. Sensor tower being thrown down, so now Dream, he knows exactly where the main army of Hurricane is.
Yeah, they are really underrated. I can kind of see the reason why they're not too popular, especially in the higher levels, because of just how much gas they cost. And in TvP, you do want as much gas as you can get, but yeah, Dream, he wants to make sure that he can utilize all of his army for these fights. He doesn't want any of these spotter Marines. Marines have guns, not telescopes.
Ooh, but just like that, 3 disruptor shots go off, taking out that sensor tower to the right, again denying that vision, that information that Dream desperately wanted. And yeah, this is kind of interesting here. We do have a couple of probes going down in the natural of Hurricane. It looks like there it is, that Raven doing some harassment.
Yeah, I was hoping it would be the medevac again, but yeah, no, it did die.
Yeah, F's in the chat for that medevac. It survived for so long. It's so much potential. But ooh, these disruptors are kind of exposed.
Oh yeah, they are very exposed, but if Hurricane reacts quick enough, he should be able to get some force use out and try to get some Purification Novas. One good snipe, and that's another good snipe. Can he get 3? 3 and 4 good snipes. No Purification Novas could have landed there. But these Colossus are going to be a lot of trouble. Meanwhile, towards the north, Dream just unable to push in, thanks to that spotter pylon and thanks to these Stalkers and Colossus. Dream, he's starting to clean up by the third base, but Hurricane does deflect it.
Oh my god, somehow, some way, with the help of those shield batteries and warp-ins, Hurricane was able to keep his Colossus alive, but that was what, like 5 or 6 disruptors taken out without a single shot going off.
Yeah. That was such a knife's edge play, Light. If he waited a second, if he was just a second off in his target firing, that army would have been taken out. GG.
Yeah. Exactly, like he was just balancing on the knife's edge right there, playing with fire, playing with those disruptors, but that was just amazing target fire. And like, we can't understate how important that was, getting all those disruptors for free. Like, as a Protoss player, that's devastating.
Absolutely, and not just because disruptors cost a hefty amount of minerals and gas, also because that's your... You don't want to be relying solely on just Colossus at this stage of the game.
You say just Colossus. There's one Colossus here. There's literally one Colossus.
Yeah, when I say just one Colossus, I mean the one Colossus. That's his name, Juan Colossus. Juan the Colossus.
Exactly. Oh my god, and with that, the Nexus is going to be going down as well. Ooh, but Hurricane, there we go. The rest of his army is converging here to the south end, so Dream is in danger of being surrounded.
He really much so is. Couple more Colossus coming in here, really putting the hurt on top of these tanks. And Dream, he is not quite able to clear out this one front. And now he's starting to get sandwiched. He does have more of an army, but it is back home and will take a heck of a lot of time to come here and reinforce. But there's not a lot of anti-air. Yeah, he's going for the Colossus. There's no anti-air. This is just like dropping on top of siege tanks, like. But Dream, he's actually not dropping his entire load. He's doing the Bjorn juggling. of dropping and picking up and dropping and picking up. That doesn't really work when there's no friendly fire, to be honest.
Exactly, but the main army does, you know, it does reinforce here for
Ghost
Dream.
gets
This is
sniped.
so close.
And it's insanely close. The Ghost got sniped, but so do Disruptors. This is such a scrappy army coming out from both ends, and Dream's target firing is good, but the Stalkers are even better right now. 3 tanks, unsieged. Come on, Dream, show me that juggling I know you can do.
he picks up and he just drops on top of the Colossus.
Imagine if you had tank evacs and you could drop them on top of the Colossus, except they were too close for the siege tanks to shoot, so
yeah. Oh my god, but that was so well done by Dream. The EMPs were just on point, nothing had shields there. He almost had enough to break Hurricane, but just not enough. Now Hurricane is able to reinforce his army. We are moving on. Hurricane, he is attempting to take a fifth base to the south, and if he gets that up and running, then he can get back into this, but he's hurting right now. Like Dream, he's
absolutely
just unrelenting.
We're in that one very specific stage of the TvP where the Terran player traded efficiently, very efficiently, or rather I should say both armies traded evenly, which benefits the Terran player. But if Dream just hangs back for too long, as you said, Hurricane going for this 5th base, then Hurricane's just going to cut back into this game, but I don't think that's going to happen. Dream's starting to push out right now.
Yeah, and that's a lot of DTs, those little blink DTs, I should say. Someone at Fear Dragon right now, Hurricane, his boy, he should have been picked for the 4 Shades of Protoss team, just saying, but
yeah, instead Hurricane had to win.
Yeah, but the DTs are getting on top of the tanks.
They are getting on top of the tanks, and there's not enough bio here to really reinforce. The DTs do get a lot of tanks and blink right on out. You know, Disruptors get connecting pretty well, but are they connecting well enough is going to be the question. A lot of these tanks are actually way far back and not really contributing too much to this fight.
Yeah, but just enough to take out this Nexus, once again crippling the economy of Hurricane. And with that, like, Dream, he can either continue to apply pressure or just rotate out, you know, hit that southern base instead. He has to be careful, though.
Yeah, I think it's best. Yeah, the Protoss army is starting to converge, and Dream is unsieged. That's a lot of AoE coming out there. The Disruptors did manage to get their Purification Novas off cooldown. Nice splits for Dream, though, and that went about as well as it could for Dream, I think.
Yeah, again, to be fair, it was really lucky for Hurricane to catch that army on siege and get so many tanks, but still, there's just so many reinforcements here for Dream. Like, his production
really
just hasn't
was.
stopped.
No, it has not, and man, like, it is really starting to pay off right now. Hurricane, his army is basically cut in 2. He cannot defend both his 4th and his 5th at the same time. Or maybe he can with these Blink Stalkers. Nope. This is just Hurricane giving up a choke point, essentially.
Exactly.
GG is called. Come on, phone. Why don't you ever recognize that fingerprint anymore? And there you have it, Dream. Quite possibly the top mechanical Terran player. He takes out Hurricane, and he's gonna advance to face. Let me just take a quick look at the bracket. I'm actually completely lost right now. I don't know where I am on this bracket. The winner of Zestan Hyperion. That is the answer to that. So, yeah, and a very impressive display, I should say, coming out from a Brave Star Gaming Terran player. Not only being able to take out Hurricane 2-0, but in just the fashion that he was able to do it, the micro that he displayed right from the start to the end of that series, the fact that he always had reinforcements every time he traded evenly with Hurricane. I thought we were just gonna go back to a bit of a sort of respawn period, so to speak, where both players, you know, they hang back, they build up their army and go for round 2. Nah, Dream just saying screw that. I'm going straight for the aggression. So our next series looks like it is gonna be Zest versus Dream. And we're gonna be in another TvP.
And honestly, like, it was really impressive to see Dream and just his non-stop aggression. Like, his production wasn't hindered at all. I think something important to note is that it felt like Hurricane never really had much of a chance to apply any pressure to Dream. Like, he just couldn't breathe. Like, Dream
Oh
was
yeah,
just constantly just hitting him over and over again. And because of that, like, the SCVs, the production of Dream was just left fine. Like, sure, there were a couple of Zealot run-bys here and there. There's a couple of DTs warping across the map to harass, but every single time there were reinforcements at home to just deal with it, and nothing really got too out of hand.
Yeah, I think you see. I guess it depends on the player and how they like to play, but I think you'll see that some other Terran players, once they start getting that advantage in TvP, they'll start parade pushing and rallying across the map just to try to continue that advantage. Dream, he knew exactly what the situation was. He knew exactly. He knew that he would be very susceptible to these run-bys, and so just rallied back at home, gathered waves of reinforcements, and just took it.
Yeah, it was. Oh my god, it was so good to see. Like, go on.
I think another reason why I was I'm not just really impressed by Dream, but really enjoyed watching that is you really nailed it when you said that's how I wish I could play.
Yeah,
that's how I want to play, but I'm not good enough to pull it off.
I know your style. For those wondering, Yaku, he is a Terran main, and like Dream, like his aggressive style, like that's just like inspiring to see. You look at that and it's like that's what I want to do. That's why I play StarCraft. And
exactly.
Yeah, it's amazing, and this is why I'm all the more excited for this series, because Dream, he almost manhandled Hurricane there, but now he's up against an entirely different caliber of Protoss, literally one of the best Protosses in the world. Dream is going to be going up against Zest.